Okay, we got to do this again. There's a poor connection here. You would think 78 right outside Athens would have a good connection. But we're going to pick us out one of these Naughty Wart goblin pumpkins. We've already paid for it. We've got about 3 or 4 narrowed down. This one has a very nice stem that you can tell how the moon twisted it during the night as it turned and went across the sky. This one has the same thing. The stem, I really like picking by stems. The moon twisted the pumpkin at night and turned it and caught it like this. This one also has some rain lines telling about the rain, how it hit it. It's got a little burr there. This one has a more straightforward stem. It probably didn't get as much moonlight. It's not as twisted. I haven't seen a rain line on it yet. I don't see a booger on it, and I'm going to wax the pumpkin so that it will last a long time. I had one last all the way into July. We like this one here as well. That's got a very interesting stem. I think that one had interaction not only between the moon but maybe Jupiter, as Jupiter crossed its path. Very interesting. And this one here, that's very nice. I like it. No burrs. Got some rain lines here telling about how much rain it hit on it that night. Rain lines again there. Nice twisted stem where the moon twisted it again. These are very nice, very interesting pumpkins. So, which one will we get? I don't know yet. I'll probably figure that out. But here we are at Stripling's. My friend Frank has had a procedure and is sort of down, not too bad, but sort of down, not recovering. So I've got him and Sherry, rack of baby back ribs and Brunswick stew from Stripling's. And let's see, I'm going to end this and try to figure out which one of these pumpkins we need to get. Which one of them speaks to me, whispers its story to me. Okay, Stripling's here on Highway 78 at 53. We're going to go back 53 and get some pictures of the bridge construction over 53, on 316 over 53. We have just come out with a Naughty Wart goblin pumpkin, 2 racks of ribs, 2 Brunswick stews. Okay, friends, let's get to this. Those ribs and that stew like to knock me out like Rip Van Winkle. Well, I went over to the van, took me a nap, and I woke myself up snoring just like Rip Van Winkle. Got the coffee water going. I usually buy 8 o'clock like we sold at A&P, but I'll buy stuff that's on sale. When you get one, buy one, get one free. I like that dark coffee. I like it strong enough it'll make your dog walk down to the corner and back. So yeah, the Stripling's stew and ribs were good, but they certainly were not Hot Thomas barbecue good. But as Hot Thomas is no longer in business, you have to go to backup. I think the best ribs and stew I ever had were Jimmy's. He used to have a trailer south of Snellville on 124. When they built that Kroger, he had to leave. He had absolutely the best butt, the best ribs, the best stew I have ever had. But Stripling's is good. Not as good as Hot Thomas was. And I have had better on the side of the road than Stripling's, where you get, the guys cooking on the side of the road. But anyway, we're going to have us some coffee, and we're going to read this pumpkin. It's a very interesting pumpkin. It has a very interesting story. And like I say, the old Indian farmer from Michigan, he used to bring his prize pumpkins down to the state farmers market and sell them every year. I would always go out there and buy 5, 6, 7, and I would have them on the side of the road. People would stop, and I'd take pictures of them and their kids, their dogs and stuff with those great big pumpkins. And he taught me how to read a pumpkin. And he said he didn't teach that to very many people. But once he died or passed away, his children wanted to go commercial, and now you don't find the big prize pumpkins at the state warehouse, farmers market anymore. They are sold in the field before they're even picked. So now let's get to this. The stem. I always like to have a nice long stem and check it out. Several of those stems over there a while ago, you could tell had been twisted by the moon. The pumpkin tried to follow the moon across the sky. This one, it did not. Now it laid here on its back side over here, and where the dirt is, you can tell where it laid. I've got to get it cleaned up and waxed. Hopefully I'll be able to keep this one until June or July, and you can see where these little nicks are. Fungus and bacteria will get in those, fed by moisture and oxygen and the sweet meat of the pumpkin, and they will cause this pumpkin to rot. Well, if I can get a good enough coat of wax on it, keep the air from it to where the mold and the mildew can't get in there and get started, this pumpkin should survive until June. We'll see how that goes. So now, the reading of the pumpkin. How this stem goes up and has that little curl right there coming up there. It is telling me that it was cold several nights, colder than normal. And one reason that it did not have the twist is more than likely Jupiter came behind the moon, and it interfered with the twist that the moon was putting on the pumpkin and did not allow the pumpkin to twist. That's very interesting. These little scuffs right here, see how they're hit here? It hits and comes all the way across. It comes around in that curve there. It's not just straight through and cut a gash in the meat. That is from stardust, meteorite dust. As it broke up, came down through the air, came down at an angle. It hit some here, here, and right down here. And it left a little scar, just sort of like a burn would on your skin. Same thing. Now, around here a little bit further, there's not much of rain marks on this one. I think this pumpkin was shielded by the leaves. Some large leaves had this pumpkin shielded, and it didn't get the rain marks on it. It doesn't have the rain lines on it quite as much as, or not as much as a lot of them. But here, let me pour the coffee and get it ready, then I'll continue. Okay, have to let that cool a little bit. I save my Love's truck stop cups and use them. They're very good cups. And I like the coffee like the night, dark and full of life. If your dog gets his tongue in that, it'll make him walk down to the corner and back. Okay, where did we leave off the pumpkin here? Now this pumpkin, I'm pretty sure has got to be a hybrid. I think it's probably a mix between, the knobby gourds and pumpkins. And I'm going to save these seeds. It may grow vines, may have flowers, and maybe even have a little bitty fruit. But I think the fruit will never reach maturity. I think they will shrivel on the vine. Because I'm pretty sure this is a hybrid. It's not a full-fledged variety of its own. Okay. Now, leading down here a little bit further, let's take a look here. Oh, almost got knocked over. There's a couple of little marks down here that talk about how the rabbits were coming and got ran off by the raccoons because they were wanting to eat the pumpkin. Deer have also tried to nibble on this, but see there again, that's not an animal nibble there. That's a bruise from shipping. and I need to get it cleaned up and sealed with wax before fungus gets in there. Now I saw the rain marks on this one, but like I say, I think maybe I got one without the rain lines. I thought I got one with rain lines on it. I think this one was sheltered by some large pumpkin leaves and didn't get full sunlight or moonlight because of the large leaves over it, and that therefore the rain did not hit it directly. It dripped on it, did not leave the lines. So yeah, this pumpkin, maybe I picked up the wrong pumpkin. This one is not, its story is not quite as interesting. I saw some cold spots on it where it got cold, really cold a couple of nights, maybe even back down in the 40s up in wherever these were grown. These could be a local pumpkin now. I may be reading that a little bit wrong. I need to get that washed off and see what the backside says. So I guess maybe that'll be it for right now. Get him in there and get him washed up good. Try to get a good coat of wax on him. Okay, let me get this video done and uploaded and get ready for bed here in a bit. Frank's heads are ready, so after he recovers completely from his procedure, he'll probably be getting ready to put his engine back together. I'll get video of that as he's doing that and try to help him some. And there's my bed and breakfast van, live, work, and play van.